The program you are about to watch is underwritten by Allergan Aesthetics and AbbVie Company. The views expressed therein are solely those of the doctors.
In my opinion, how we ensure that future companies diversify is by hiring skin of color, all skin of color, by promoting them, up the ladder to the decisive decision-making positions. They need to use all diversity of skin of color in their advertising, and they need to obviously do testing on all Fitzpatrick skin types. So that's everybody in the rainbow. So as an African-American female with Caribbean background, I'm very passionate about the fact that here in dermatology, we have 3% diversity in terms of dermatology. And I think that's awful. I think we should do a lot better. And I think all of medicine, and for that matter, all of this country, should do better with diversity, because from one, we learn. From many, we learn more. So I think diversity is a winning subject. And I think we need to be more focused on what we can do to bring more diversity forward.
I agree 100% with Janine, and also say that the bottom line is the more we learn as physicians doing things that are aesthetic to our patients, the more we learn how different races and genders are and how we really have to understand the differences and think about them. But the bottom line is we as physicians who practice aesthetic medicine don't want everyone to look the same way. And if we're not part of the solution, we are part of the problem.
Doris, what do you think?
I love that you and I went to medical school together, and we trained in an area where we saw diverse populations, and we learned in a broad range of skin types and socioeconomic status. So I think that it's something that we as physicians are sort of passing on to the next generation. And with time, hopefully we'll see further growth of that to the point where it hits that tipping point and we have an overall balance, as we've seen for women in medicine. When we were in medical school, only 30% of our class were women, and now over 50% of our class is women. So I think that our focus on it and spending energy on it will get us there sooner rather than later, but not soon enough, of course.
Right. And then there has to be shared cultural sensitivity. Sabrina, what do you think?
Yeah, so I agree with you, Doris, that I trained in the inner city of Chicago. And so it was a very good experience for me, because you learn how to apply different chemical peels depending on what color of the skin you're treating and the different issues you have to worry about, whether you're applying lasers, heat-based devices. I think that there's an opportunity still to learn, especially as there are more interracial marriages, and people are not just one thing. I'm 100% Hispanic, but for some people, I don't look Hispanic. What does that mean? Because there's mixes. I'm 25% Native American, and the rest is Spanish. And so I think that we have to be aware that as we mix and blend more as a population, there are differences. And so what I think we can all get help from is the aesthetics of the face, whether you're a little bit more mestizo or whether you are a little bit more Asian, or what are the different changes that happen as a function of the effects of your particular genetics and your background and what they have on the aging face. I think that we're mindful that when it comes to lasers and devices and how we have to be sensitive and respectful, but I don't think we can apply the same injection technique to different faces. And so knowing how those faces age, I think will be helpful.
So I also trained at a large center here in Los Angeles, and we truly were the melting pot. We saw people from every corner of the world and every type and color of skin. And that has carried over into my whole perspective on faces, on improving skin quality, on improving issues that you may not present typically in one skin type versus another skin type. And so it is with pride that I see that I'm so impressed by companies and by different professional communities that have really made a big emphasis on increasing diversity and paying attention to the needs of every different type of skin, from whatever ethnicity, from whatever background people have, because we are Americans, and we are every size, shape, color, background that you can imagine. And I'm proud to be part of it, and culture.
And I think being embracing and being open-minded and being caring really rules. So I think that diversity is a really important issue that we need to obviously all focus on, us individually in our practices, and make sure we're following our state and local guidelines, and pharma companies around the country, and quite frankly, everybody. I think diversity, inclusion, and equality is a pressing issue today as it will be into the future. And I think that we can fight for more equality and more representation in medicine along the way. And that way we can help ourselves, we can help our patients, and we can help all the companies that we do business with. So let's keep pushing, ladies. This is something that I think is really, really important.